How's it going, everybody? It's your boy Will, and today we're going to be doing a 100% rainbow showcase of the STR Final Form cooler. And I pulled him on the Worldwide Down Celebration banners. I think I pulled like 3 copies of him, which, I mean, it's a positive. It's cool. He's a good unit. He's one of the best like extreme units in the game, as I explained in my last video where I debated between Tech Vegeta Blue and AGL Vegeta Blue. So I'm not mad at it. We're going to be facing the Red Zone Cell. And I think this is one of the harder bosses in the game, considering, the bosses that we have. STR Bojack's pretty decent, Cell's pretty decent, obviously Shenron, Sin Shenron, and Red Zone Broly. But yeah, so it's not too hard, but it's, I think it's definitely up there, top 10 hardest fight in the game. And I think this is also a great phase to showcase certain units. I think like this phase kind of just shows whether a unit can be above average or mediocre in a sense, because there's a lot of phases, so it gives a lot of opportunity for you to build up. The super attacks will get progressively harder hitting, although again, if that unit is not, above average, second form Cell can definitely one-shot them and absolutely annihilate them. And even certain good units, if they're not built up basically on the second phase of this fight, it can get one-shot. With the STR Cooler, his passive skill is activates entrance animation once only and launches an additional attack that has a medium chance of becoming a super attack for 3 turns when there is another Terrifying Conqueror's ally on the team. And the starter character's attacking turn, Ki +5, attacking defense plus 100%, plus additional Ki +1 up to 5, and attacking and defense plus 10% up to 100%. With each attack performed, launches 2 additional attacks, each of which has a medium chance of becoming a super attack, launches an additional super attack starting from the turn in which the character performs a 10th attack in battle. Basically, the way this character works is you do want to build additional and crit. That's what I recommend. That's what I have in mind. And basically, every single attack he does, he's building up his attack and defense, and he's getting more and more Ki. So basically, by the time you've done a couple attacks, he's 18 Ki or more, and getting a 24 Ki it's nothing. Sometimes you only need like 3 or 4 orbs, and his attack stat is going to shoot through the roof, especially if you're getting multiple super attacks. And I think twice in this video, you're going to see that almost every single attack was a super attack, and he was just absolutely cooking. He's an amazing unit. Active skills greatly raise attack temporarily and causes ultimate damage to the enemy. Disables the action once within the turn. So that's obviously helpful because depending on, what you're disabling, that first attack could be a super attack on the enemy's end. So it can definitely save your run. And the activation conditions for that can be activated upon performing 8 or more attacks during battle, which is pretty easy. You can have that within 2 turns. And his categories are Movie Bosses, Transformation Boost, Wicked Bloodline, Terrifying Conquerors, Target Goku, Final Trump Cards, Space Traveling Warriors, and Planetary Destruction. So it covers most of the main extreme categories, the ones that are actually viable in the harder events. Terrifying Conquerors being probably one of the best ones. Wicked Bloodline's good. Movie Bosses is good. But yeah, overall, he's an amazing unit. Like I said in the last video, I did go in some pretty good talks about him being like one of the best like extreme units in the game. And on his end, when it comes to the extreme teams, when he released, he was basically the anchor of almost every single extreme team in the Terrifying Conquerors and Movie Heroes. And his leader skill basically gave him the ability to like bring all these different characters together that normally couldn't, because Terrifying Conquerors, you're covering Wicked Bloodline characters, you're covering Movie Bosses, you're covering Transformation Boosts, Space Traveling Warriors, Planetary Destruction. And the Movie Bosses category is covering a lot more too. So whenever they sat there and had that put together, you're just using the craziest amount of combination of extreme units. And obviously there is different links amongst the extreme units. Certain ones like the Majin characters have metamorphosis, stuff like that. So they may not always link up perfectly, but a lot of them, they're going to share things like Thirst for Conquest, Fierce Battle, Legendary Power, stuff like that. You're always going to get at least 3, depending on what the unit is. There's not too much variation between them. And then Transformation Boost covers a lot of characters. There's a lot of characters that are in the movie category. Wicked Bloodline, Terrifying Conquerors, Planetary Destruction, Target Goku. So Transformation Boost is a pretty good 30% because, like I said, it's a very broad spectrum. And here you see Cooler is absolutely cooking. He's just going insane. Like I said, just an amazing unit. He's just sitting here stacking it up to 100%. He's going to peak out at 100. But his additionals are eventually, they're doing like 8 million plus, and these are just regular super attacks. So yeah, he's an amazing unit. Pairing partners for him are this STR first form cooler and the AGL Golden Frieza. He's an amazing character too. Overall, it was just he performed quite well. He was doing a lot of damage, and then alongside doing a lot of damage, he's also sitting here stacking up that defense after his super. So he's able to eat most super attacks from the enemy after he's done a couple additionals. And just like I said, overall, amazing unit. Definitely one of the best extreme class units. One of the best leader skills for an extreme class unit. And he's just amazing. This is exactly what people want in a character. And if you're going to be making these extreme characters, they're kind of hard to an extent because they're either a hit or they're a miss. There really is no middle on extreme characters. They either have to be really good or they're just going to suck. It's quite unfortunate. It's not, it's not that, how do I put this? It's not that they need to be busted, but they need to be able to have, something that is tied to them, whether it's their leader skill or it's their defensive capability or it's their attack capability or their support capability. With a lot of super, units, like they can get carried almost by an amazing lead. So like Bulma, you put Bulma on a team and she's going to elevate every single unit around her. Extreme is a little bit harder, and when they come out these extreme units, sometimes they're pretty good for a little while and they just completely just drop off, whether a new boss comes out or there's a power creep. And something like Cooler, he's sitting here still doing damage, still being relevant. If you look at a lot of these extreme teams, if there's any point of a movie boss or terrifying conquerors, 9 times out of 10 he's on the team. But on this turn you can see that we're going to go ahead and do his active skill. I'm going to go ahead and shut up and let you guys watch this. Hope you enjoy. I love that active skill between the dialogue, the animation. Cooler is he's probably my second favorite villain in Dragon Ball. Number one is definitely Zamasu / Goku Black, but Final Form Cooler is just cold, man. No pun intended. He's just a bad man, and that pose he does holding that ball, it's just, he's awesome. He's a badass. I love him for sure. But some of the characters that I would say that are examples of good extreme units that haven't exactly fully aged well, / they didn't have what I was talking about where they have something that just keeps them relevant. By the way, 60 million attack stat, okay. But extreme physical Final Form Cooler, or Metal Cooler, excuse me. He was pretty good on release. The defensive stacking was pretty helpful, but as bosses went along, he can't take hits. Yes, his revival is pretty helpful, but at the same time, he's not taking hits. Some of the now considered, subpar bosses, as times went on and, the red zone bosses started to age and we have all these new ones, he's just getting absolutely obliterated. And it's really hard to sit there and run him on a team because he sits there and does his revive. That's, cool, whatnot. It's cool and whatnot, but his defense isn't great. He's not taking supers. His attack stat isn't great. Which is sad to consider because obviously, power creep is a thing and units are going to age out because of that. Sometimes they may be good defensively, but if their attack stats not, up to par and they're coming out with new units that have higher attack stats, they just get replaced. It's part of the game. It's part of gachas. It's part of Dokkan. But yeah, he's not that great. The Extreme AGL LR Final Form Frieza, he was good when he came out. He does pretty good attack stacks, but again, if he's getting hit by these supers, he's not sitting there, he's not sitting here doing it. He's not taking the hits. It's quite unfortunate. STR LR Final Form Frieza, same thing. He's doing high attack stats, but he's also not sitting here taking hits, so he's going to get absolutely blasted. And when it comes to the movie boss category, no one on global at the moment is what I consider a high tier character. I mean, AGL Turles, he's good with support, but he cannot take a hit. On certain bosses, normals are doing 120 to 180, 200,000 damage, so that's not viable. The Int, Sandai Broly, he's not usable. Physical Super Saiyan Broly from the Gogeta movie, he's not usable. Janemba's pretty good. The LR Physical Janemba, his defense is pretty good. His attack side's subpar. But he's just, I know that I said that there's some of the links that work on this team, but you really want to kind of have him alongside the tech one, and they're just not fully usable at the moment. The tech one might get an easy A maybe in the next few years that might, elevate the LR Janemba. But other than that, I mean, I'm looking at the list. Cooler Army, Metal Cooler Army, he's not too bad. He's all right. And Bojack, he died on release. He's just not usable. AGL, Metal Cooler, he's not great. And that's really it, man. It's just sad. It seems like a lot of the extreme units, they don't get enough like broken releases that sit there and give their team viability for a long time. And that's any extreme team. They're just hard to use, and they can't take hits from the higher bosses, and it's really unfortunate. I mean, you look at Android 17, the GT tag, they weren't that great on release. They kind of died like a week after, and it's just unfortunate. I wish that the extreme characters got the same amount of love that Super does. Obviously, people, a selling point for a game is when you have a Goku, when you have a Saiyan, when you have these cool, popular characters, they're going to sell, and they're going to make them better. They're going to give them longevity in terms of their lifespan. I just wish that Extreme got that same feeling, whether it was with Coolers or Friezas or Goku Blacks. The new Zamasu is very, 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 very good. I like him a lot. I'm happy that they gave him a pretty good kit, and I can see him being useful for a while. Whether it's going to be as long as Final Form Cooler, we'll have to see. But that's really it, man. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed the gameplay of Final Form Cooler cooking. The friend lead one, I'm using the active skill. He's going to do another good amount of damage because they're both stacking 17 million, which I'm pretty sure is the same attack stat on mine. It's it's pretty good for an active skill. That's in here up to par with like the 8th years when you do their standby. But yeah, great unit. I'm enjoying him at Rainbow so far, and that's basically it for today's video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys are having a great day. Hope you guys are enjoying the Worldwide Download celebration. If you have any questions, feedback, concerns, or just want to leave a comment, go ahead and do that. Drop a like if you enjoy it. Subscribe if you want to see more content by me. I appreciate it fully. My name's Will, and I'm out.